Section 2, rules for questions. Here are 5 rules that lead you to great questioning practices. Rule number 1, there's a ton of detail on this, so pay close attention. Evoke emotion with your questions. Here's what you want to walk away with after today's teaching. And this is critically important, and most people, this is never taught anywhere that I'm aware of. You must evoke emotion when you converse with prospects. Now, how best to do this? By crafting your questions so that they create not simply a logical, but a gut response from your buyers. Now, how do we know this is important? How do we know that it works? This is great information. The study of neuroeconomics is a combination of research from the fields of psychology, economics, and neuroscience. It looks at the role of the brain when we evaluate decisions and categorize risks and rewards, as well as how we interact with ourselves and others. Almost every study on decision making reveals that when a buyer decides to buy, she or he is first driven by emotion, then validates that decision with logic. Therefore, as a sales professional, we need to understand that evoking emotion during a sales call is key to helping buyers buy. If you neglect to create an environment where an emotional response occurs, you'll end up with a clinical, rational prospect who decides with his or her head versus their heart. This is important, and if it fascinates you, when you want more information, you'll be captivated by the stories, research, and applications from Jonah Lehrer's book, How We Decide. I've also compiled over 1,000 pages of research myself, and we'll be writing a book on emotions in sales training. Anyway, the marketing world gets this as well. BMW recently came out with a commercial that made this point. What you make people feel is important as what you make. We don't just make cars, we make joy. It's accompanied by a great video with a whole bunch of images, all connected with the word joy, a powerful emotion. It's time for sales professionals around the world to intentionally adapt these marketing practices as well. So the basis of all of our questioning strategies centers on evoking emotion first. That means we need to understand the emotional component of every benefit we offer and every problem we solve. There's a difference. Benefits and problems. When prospects make decisions, they will either choose based on all the good things they'll get, or they'll be motivated to take action and buy based on avoiding problems in the present or the future. I have a huge full-blown training piece on this in the solution versus problem-centered selling section, so you want to look for that video sometime soon. But what this means is you can develop, and I'll give you some examples, questions that generate positive or negative emotions. Your job is to customize your dialogue to match the buyer's style. Again, so it's benefit or problem-oriented. Let's look at a few. Here are 5 positive emotions. Excitement, empathy, hope, calm, surprise. Now, surprise can be a negative one right now, but we put it in the positive category. Here are some negative emotions. Disgust, irritation, fear, embarrassment, and stress. Very, very powerful emotions. You can reinforce the power of emotion when you ask your questions by directly inserting a bit of feeling. Let me show you how to do this from some work I did with somebody prior to this. You may make a comment like this. You had customized books ordered for your national sales conference and they arrived at the end of the event? Oh no! What did your boss say? Now you can assume that the oh no shows you're empathetic, much like Bill Clinton's classic I feel your pain. But the boss question is the really tough one. Your buyer will most likely go back to the place and time where the manager, executive, or owner just teed off on this poor person for letting the mistake happen in the first place. So you can reassure them and create positive emotion by saying something like, we will never let anything happen like that to you again. So that gets the emotion back on track as he or she begins to experience hope, satisfaction, trust, or even relief. Right, our list of positive emotions. So again, your job is to evoke emotion and form a bond with the buyer. And I'll get you a big list of tons of emotions too. Humor does this as well. I recently designed a sales training program for a financial services firm. You would recognize the name, where I scripted this crazy and humorous comment. The buyer says, "Aren't we too old to buy a financial product like an annuity?" And the sales rep says, "Not really. We have sea turtles older than you as clients." So laughter and surprise generates a gut response that spikes emotion and bonds them with their buyers. You want to determine right now to create an environment where emotion takes a role in the sales conversation. You can connect better with your buyers and see better results as well. Evoke emotion.